Hey friends! In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a displacement effect using the motion design tools. Also, if you want to skip the setup and just grab the project file, it's available on my Patreon via the link in the description.
First things first, let's make sure the plugin is active. Go to Edit, Plugins, search for Motion Design, and check the box right here. If you're doing this for the first time, you'll need to restart the engine.
Let's create a new level. Go to File, New Level. You can pick absolutely any template here. It really doesn't matter for this tutorial. I'm going to go with Motion Graphics. Let's delete the cloner and the associated effectors. Next, I'll go to Camera Options and switch to the default viewport. Let's click on the Selection Mode drop-down and switch to Motion Design. From the toolkit, select the cloner and choose the grid layout. Select the cloner and let's zero out the transform settings. Just click the reset arrows here to snap it to the world origin. Now do exactly the same for the default clone. To keep things manageable, let's set the scale of the default clone to 0.2. Select the cloner and verify that the layout is set to grid. Now, change the count settings. Set Z to 0 and set both X and Y to 50. For the spacing, set both X and Y to 24. Now, let's move on to the texture settings. I want to start here before touching displacement so we can actually visualize the pattern first. Take a look at the Texture Provider. This setting allows us to either link to the displacement map or choose an independent one. This means you can technically have one pattern driving the physical displacement and a completely different pattern for the visual texture. Feel free to use any images you like for the texture and displacement maps. However, I'll be using the pre-prepared assets located in the project folder. Remember, you can download the full project on my Patreon if you want to follow along exactly. Set the offset Z to 0 and let's crank the scale Z up to 10. As you can see, relying on offset isn't really the best approach here. I personally prefer using scale to control the displacement intensity. Now let's jump into the effectors and get things moving. First, we need to define the region of influence using the shape setting. Using a sphere and manually adjusting the scale isn't very efficient here. The best option for this scenario is unbound, which applies the effect globally. To ensure the texture interacts correctly with the effector, go ahead and change the color to white. Now let's switch the mode to procedural. Under Pattern, go ahead and select Curl Noise. Set the Pan Z to 50, and for the scale, choose anything between 1.5 and 3. Honestly, I recommend pausing the video right here and playing around with these values yourself. It's the best way to get a feel for how they work. Also, remember that you could always hover over any parameter to read the tooltip description. Aside from curl noise, you can also switch the pattern to circular wave. Give that a try. It creates a really interesting animation effect. In any case, play around with the settings and settle on the look that works best for you. Now, let's switch gears and talk about color. To change the color of our geometry, we first need to create a new material. We aren't going to do a deep dive into complex material settings here. I'm just going to show you the specific configuration needed to make it work correctly with our geometry.
To control the material on our geometry, we need to scroll down to the Usage section and check the box for Used with Niagara Mesh Particles.
To demonstrate this, I'm going to create two material instances.
Now I'm going to duplicate the default clone and set up the materials for each one. Go ahead and create various geometric shapes. Experiment a bit and try to build a composition. You have plenty of settings here for that. As I mentioned earlier, this project will be on Patreon. I've set up the material to make color control easier for you. Let me show you.
Now, I'm going to set up two material instances for the demonstration.
I've set up the material to make it easier for you to work with.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments. Since this is my first video, I'm really interested to hear your thoughts and advice. Good luck, and see you next time.